All right, today we're looking at installing the steering wheel control in a 2005 Toyota Sequoia, which is these steering wheel controls over here that run your mode to switch between radio, DVD player, and whatever. And then this is to scan channels on your radio and volume. Okay, and I've got the Jensen 7020 unit over here, and in order to install this, I've purchased this control kit, which is a universal kit, ASWC, and you need to get the -1, which is a self-programming one. There's an older model which is without the -1, and you have to program that manually by yourself. So to buy this company, buy it off of eBay or Amazon. You can also get it at Best Buy, I believe, and they price match. So what comes in this box is some wonderful little instructions, and you can see right there on the side, those are the components to it. And some of these we won't use, like for instance, there's this unit right here, which is basically, I think, for a Kenwood or one of these other units, and I don't anticipate using that one. It also has the plug in there that goes with it. So let me get going on this and walk you through this as I figure out what's the best route. Instruction manuals are inside too, and everything's right here now. So unlike the backup camera and running the SAT antenna for the navigation system, this should be a little bit less involved, hopefully, and all centered right here. A couple things I've learned here is that the happy little booklet that comes with this remote steering wheel connectivity from Access is you got to read the fine print, but you need to go to their website. And on their website, they have the actual diagram that shows that which one of these other wire clusters is the one you need to use. And their instructions tell you there's a green wire, blah, 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 with a black stripe, whatever. And you got to figure out which one it is. Well, you go to their website, it's fantastic. It actually shows you this diagram, and it shows it's the 7th pin. I thought this isn't piracy. I think it'll be fine. It's actually a PDF that you can download. This is the website on the Access website that shows you for a Toyota Sequoia 2005 here. The actual location, it says connect the black wire to the ground chassis. They like that. You can find a wire to hook it to as well. Connect the red wire to the 12-volt wire, one that turns on and off with the ignition key. And so if you and then this is, look at this, we're supposed to take from this the green-orange wire, which looks a little bit more green-yellow to me. But okay, so it's this one here. So you take the green-orange wire, and we're to connect this off of the harness that comes with the Access control module, and go to the vehicle on the Toyota right here in the 7th pin, and they count from left to right. So the 7th position is going to be basically the 4th hole over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you look in the back, and in the 4th hole you see that green and gray striped wire. That's the one we're gonna tie this one to. Okay, and then we're to take the black and green and move it to the 8th pin of the vehicle. And then okay. So what I did here is I just stripped back a little wire, a little technique I've found that works real good. I'm going to split that wire right there with a razor blade, stick the other wire in there, twist it around real good, solder it, and then tape it. And you can't put shrink wrap on it because it's obviously a continuous line. But they got all kinds of goofy splitters and crimpers and stuff that you can use. But I think the soldering technique just keeps it, when the vehicle's going down the road vibrating, you know, it's going to bleed into it and hold it good and tight. Open like that. And then, I don't know if you can see that. Trying to get the light on it right. There we go. Okay. And then just insert this in between those lines and wrap it around 2 or 3 times, like so. Okay. Kind of hard, my big fingers. Then come back with the soldering iron and tape it up. But I'm going to test it before I do all for this. Okay. So I got on the Axis website and looked at this product and found how to reset this, because once it tries to program, it gives you a fit, the lights blink, everything goes nuts. This right here is the reset. Okay, you got to take something sharp, put it down in there. My light lead wire indicator, and get that to focus. You hold it down for 3 seconds, or it says more than 3 but less than 10. Then you'll see a series of flashing red lights, and then those red lights will turn to green and should flash 4 green lights, or 7, excuse me, 7, and then it does a series of quick flashes, and then once it lights up permanent like that, and it's solid, then it's programmed itself. And what that allows you to do is be able to use these controls over here. Okay, so that's kind of a cluster. That was a difficult challenge to get through because the instructions, both from Jensen, were a little foggy on that, although I think their diagram was good. But the technical support for these guys, okay, for this metric access product for the steering wheel controls was fabulous. Every time I called them, I had less than 5-minute wait, and called them maybe 4 or 5 times and figured out how to do a couple things. And each car is different, but they got a staff on hand, so pretty impressed with that. Okay, so then I went through, soldered everything. It had to be mounted. Excuse me, they had to be using existing wires. One of them is a hot lead, and one of them is a ground, which I ran a separate ground over here, and I don't know if you can see it back in there, right there, but I can't really zoom in on it. All it is a chassis ground. Okay, so I ground the black wire right, come on light, the black wire right here, ran it in there to secure that. That was the last thing I had to do, was ground that out. The other thing that comes on this little steering wheel module, okay, is a green wire with a yellow, and then a green with a black stripe. Okay, both of those have good instructions on their website, and it's different for each car. But for the Sequoia, it was what I showed you in the previous video, which actually wires into the various pin locations on this harness coming off of, excuse me, for the Toyota. Okay, so there's 3 wires. I had missed this one initially, which is a ground, has to go to this brown one, which I think was in pin number 6. Yeah. Okay, so when you buy this product, aftermarket, excellent website, go there for your model of your vehicle and you'll do just fine. And these 3 are located. They'll even tell you which harness it is if you need to. I already had that figured out, but that completes it. So I put some solder on these. Each one of them are soldered, and I'm going to tape these up because I don't have any happy little posi connectors left. And these are secured, got a little silicone in them, bounce proof, shock proof kind of stuff. And these are soldered. And I may wrap a little tape around this, but the RCA, this is the backup camera, shouldn't have a problem with that coming out, and that's a good connection there. So that's the guts of it. Next, I'm going to secure all this and kind of wrap it up a little bit, organize it, and then tuck it back in there gently and begin the reassembly process. Trim kit's back in place. There's no marring on the outside of it. Just remember those two screws come out of here and then pull down from the top. Put your fingers right here, right here. It releases, gets a little tight, about an inch out, and then you just keep coming with it, work it a little bit, and then it pulls out. Okay? But then you don't have to pry anything out. If you do it from the bottom, you're gonna mess up, so stay at the top. Okay, when I put this trim kit back in, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but I made sure that I shifted everything to the right when I screwed down the Jensen radio. And the reason is otherwise it left a little bit of gap here and it was tight over here. And it also got stuck up here just a little bit, so you have to pry up with a flathead is what I used, and I just barely touched it and then it slipped through. Okay, little delicacy right there at the end. Okay, let me show you how those tools work. I'm gonna start this vehicle up so I can turn the steering wheel here. Pop it back off. Okay, so if you hit the volume control up, it goes up. If you hit the seek, it starts searching until it finds a station. If you hit mode, you hear it beep and it goes to the disc player. Hit it again, it goes to the USB device, and so forth and so on. Okay, so all right, come on, cool it with the dingle bell. Okay, so there you have with the Jensen 7020 installation with the metric. It's this company right here. The access parts. This is the harness that you need for the radio for a 2005 Sequoia, and their website is fantastic. Show you the diagrams and everything. Don't go off of this goofy little book they got that comes with it. These things are worthless. Go to their website. It's fantastic. This came with the kit, with this trim kit. It's absolutely not going to work. It's just a plastic piece of throwaway. Okay. The other piece that you need if you want this harness to have these controls, it's another one of these from Axis, and works great. I could not get it to program. I was going to show you that real quick on its own, and it would get the volume up and down, and it would get the seek, but it would not get this mode button. So I knew I had it wired right. I even cut their harness off. They send with one of these things. Okay, I cut this thing off and wired it direct just because I couldn't figure out why it wasn't doing it. When I went in and manually on this Jensen, I can come in here to steering wheel controls setup, and I hit learn right here, and you basically hit the learn process. This will be different on every stereo, but it says right here go for the plus. So I'm going to push this, and I want you to watch what happens over here. It will pair up as soon as I do. Then it says volume negative or down. Then mute. I don't have a mute button on the steering wheel, so I just skip that. And then previous, I'd hit this button here,